Faustino Hernán and Tino Asprilla Hinestroza is a former Colombian football player who most notably played for Parma A.C, Newcastle United F.C. and the Colombian national football team as a forward. Though never a prolific goal-scorer, he was known for his skill and pace, as well as for being temperamental and controversial both on and off the field. Asprilla was known by his supporters in his home country as the Octopus for his voracious appetite. In 1996, he was named by FIFA as the sixth best player in the world. Club career, early years. After starting out playing football with local team Carlos Sarmiento Lower School, Asprilla started his professional career in 1988 for the Colombian team Cúcuta Deportivo at the age of 18 for a year before transferring to Atlético Nacional. 35 goals in 78 games brought him to the attention to several Italian clubs who bid for him, with Parma winning the race to sign him for $10.9 million in 1992. Parma. In his first season at Parma, Asprilla scored some important goals, including a 27-yard second-half free kick which helped Parma beat Milan 1-0, ending the Italian champions' unbeaten streak at 58 matches. It was at Parma that Asprilla arguably enjoyed his greatest club success. Asprilla was part of the Parma team that won its first international tournament, the 1992 Euro 93 European Cup Winners' Cup, scoring 4 goals in 8 matches. It was his brace in Spain that rallied the Italian team to a 2-1 victory over Atlético Madrid in the semi-finals. However, an injury meant he was an unused substitute as Parma defeated Belgian club Royal Antwerp 3-1 in the final. In early 1994, Asprilla was part of the Parma team which beat Milan 0-2 in the San Siro to overturn a 0-1 first-leg deficit and claim the 1993 European Super Cup. Also in the 1993 Euro 94 season, Parma reached a second Cup Winners' Cup final. However, a 0-1 defeat to Arsenal of England meant they would not retain their trophy. In 1994 Euro 95, Parma again reached the final of a major European competition as they faced Italian compatriots Juventus in the final of the UEFA Cup. Asprilla was instrumental in Parma's run to the final, with 3 goals over 2 legs in the semi-final against Germany's Bayer Leverkusen. In the final itself, Asprilla was in the starting 11 for both legs as Parma defeated Juventus 2-1 on aggregate. At the start of the 1995 Euro 96 season, Asprilla found himself out of coach Nvio Scala's plans. In February 1996, after making only 6 appearances in the opening 5 months of the season, Asprilla joined English Premier League leaders Newcastle United for £6.7 million. During his first spell at Parma, Asprilla scored 25 goals in 84 Serie A appearances. He is considered one of the greatest players of Parma's successful period in the 1990s. In his 3 full seasons with the club, Parma finished 3rd, 5th and 3rd in Serie A. The club also reached a European final in each of those seasons, as well as the 1994 Euro 95 Coppa Italia final. UEFA Cup Winners' Cup winner, 1992/93, UEFA Cup Winners' Cup runner-up, 1993/94, European Super Cup winner, 1993, UEFA Cup winner, 1994/95, 1998/99, Newcastle United. Parma sold Asprilla to English Premier League side Newcastle United for £6.7 million in February 1996, with Tino, as the fans nicknamed him, famously appearing at St James Park to finalise the move during a snowstorm, dressed in a flamboyant fur coat. At the time, Newcastle were battling Manchester United for the league title, having led the championship for much of the season. He made his league debut in Newcastle's 2-1 win over Middlesbrough at the Riverside Stadium, coming on as a second-half substitute with a score 1-0 in Middlesbrough's favour. He made an immediate impact, creating the assist for Newcastle's equaliser. Unfortunately, his time on Tyneside would be blighted by inconsistency and off-field incidents, and Asprilla was blamed as one of the reasons Newcastle would go on to concede the 1995/96 Premier League title to eventual winners Manchester United. Asprilla's second season for Newcastle ended with the club finishing in second place once again, behind Manchester United. His role was largely reduced to substitute appearances, although he retained his best performances for the club's UEFA Cup campaign, scoring 5 goals. His wild celebration of the goal he scored against FC Metz, whereby he removed his shirt and swung it from a corner flag, resulted in Asprilla being given a yellow card, meaning a suspension from Newcastle's next UEFA Cup game against AS Monaco. The 1997-98 season would be Asprilla's last for Newcastle. With the sale of striker Les Ferdinand to Tottenham Hotspur, and the serious injury to Alan Shearer during pre-season, Asprilla was preferred as first-choice striker alongside the young, inexperienced Jon Dahl Tomasson. With the club competing in that season's Champions League, Asprilla's finest game for Newcastle came in a 3-2 win over Barcelona in an unforgettable game at St James Park. Asprilla scored a hat-trick for Newcastle, which would be his last goals for the club. By the end of January 1998, with Newcastle struggling in the league and knocked out of the Champions League, Asprilla's time at Newcastle came to an abrupt end, with the Newcastle manager Kenny Dalglish finally running out of patience with the wild Colombian's playboy antics and on-field inconsistency. He was sold back to Parma for £6 million, having scored a total of 9 goals in 48 league appearances, and an impressive 9 goals in 11 European games. Palmeiras, Asprilla played in the successful Palmeiras team in the 1999 and 2000 seasons. Rio São Paulo tournament winner, 2000, Brazilian Champions Cup winner, 2000, later career and Darlington link. Although his brief time with Palmeiras saw the team achieve success, for Asprilla personally his time there marked the beginning of a pattern of short, relatively unproductive stays with various clubs across various countries, including Brazil, Mexico, Chile, Colombia and Argentina. During a time which was generally low-key, he appeared in the public eye again in 2002 amid reports he had been approached by English Division 3 side Darlington. Darlington successfully appealed an initial work permit refusal and had offered around £17,000 per week plus 20% of gate receipts, a car and a rent-free flat. Chairman George Reynolds considered they were friends and in fact paraded Asprilla in front of 5,163 fans before Darlington's 2-0 win over Carlisle United on Tuesday 27 August, believing the intended 2-year contract was good as signed. However, it was reported that following the players stalling on taking a medical on Thursday 29 August, in the early hours of Friday 30 August, Asprilla caught a flight from Newcastle Airport to the Middle East, to apparently take up a more lucrative offer. Reynolds described himself as absolutely gutted by the snub, complained Asprilla did not even have the decency to say goodbye, and said he would never talk to him again. This was the second time that Darlington was snubbed by a high-profile ex-Newcastle player that summer. The other was Paul Gascoigne. The identity of the Middle East club has never been revealed and whether Asprilla did join them remains a mystery. There is no record of him officially playing for another professional team after his departure from Argentine side Estudiantes de La Plata in 2004. International career, summary, Asprilla scored 20 goals in 57 matches for Colombia from 1993 to 2001 and played for his country at the 1994 and 1998 World Cups. Asprilla was expected to be one of the top players of the 1994 tournament, but failed to score a single goal as Colombia was eliminated in the first round. 1992 Summer Olympics, Asprilla was a member of the Colombian team at the 1992 Summer Olympics in Barcelona where the team also went out in the first round with losses to Spain and Egypt, and a draw with Ireland. 1993 Copa America, in the 1993 Copa America held in Ecuador, Colombia finished third overall. After topping Group C with a win over Mexico 2-1, and draws with Bolivia 1-1 and Argentina 1-1, Colombia beat Uruguay 1-1 before losing 0-0 to Argentina in the semi-final. Argentina went on to win the tournament. In the third-place game, Colombia beat Ecuador 1-0 to claim third spot. Asprilla failed to score in the tournament. 1994 FIFA World Cup, Asprilla was part of the Colombian team which demolished Argentina 5-0 in a World Cup qualifier game in Buenos Aires in 1993, a game in which he scored twice. Colombia finished undefeated in the South American qualifying group. Going into the 1994 FIFA World Cup, there were high expectations for Colombia as a dark horse favorite to win the cup with a team that included such notable players as Carlos Valderrama, Freddy Rincón, and Asprilla. With 1 win and 2 losses, Colombia finished at the bottom of their group and went out in the first round. Asprilla himself had a disappointing tournament, failing to score at all. He walked out on his teammates midway through the group phase. Colombia failed to advance to the next round, despite having an excellent team. 1995 Copa America. In the Copa America held in Uruguay and won by Uruguay, Colombia again finished third. Colombia started out by finishing third in Group B with a 1-1 draw with Peru, a 1-0 win over Ecuador and a 0-3 loss to Brazil. The team then went on to defeat Paraguay 5-4 on penalties after a 1-1 draw in the quarter-finals before losing to Uruguay 2-0 in the semi-final. In the third-place match, Colombia faced the United States, who they easily defeated 4-1 with Asprilla scoring one of the Colombians' 4 goals in the match. 1998 FIFA World Cup. In the 1998 FIFA World Cup in France, expectations were again high for Colombia and Asprilla remained in the team. Again, Colombia was out in the first round with 1 win and 2 losses. Asprilla was dismissed from the team after complaining to reporters about the coach's decision to substitute him near the end of Colombia's opening loss against Romania. Following the World Cup, Asprilla retired from international football for Colombia at the age of 32 in 2001. Retirement. In July 2009 Asprilla officially retired from top-flight football following a retirement match in Medellin, Colombia. Although this marks his official retirement date, he had not been actively employed by a professional side in around 5 years. Subsequently he was rumored to at one stage be on the books of Slovenian side NK Bravo, who play in the Slovenian capital Ljubljana, and to have been running an academy, coaching young players in Colombia. In 2008 he was arrested for allegedly firing a machine gun at security forces near his farm in Colombia. He was placed under house arrest on charges of weapons possession and criminal damage. He has appeared in various Colombian reality shows, such as Desafío 2005 and Nomadas. In 2011 he was spotted attending Newcastle United matches, his cult status amongst English supporters meaning his presence often draws comment. At the Stadium of Light for the Sunderland vs Newcastle game on January 17, 2011 he was in the away end sporting a Newcastle scarf. He made a return to St James Park on January 22, 2011 appearing on the pitch at half-time during Newcastle United's Premier League home game against Tottenham Hotspur and attended a charity dinner in Gateshead that evening, alongside Les Ferdinand and Peter Beardsley, where he spoke of his affection for the Newcastle fans. In early 2013, Asprilla was linked with a return to his former club Newcastle. Asprilla spoke of performing a coaching role with the youth squad as well as developing a special role in introducing young talent into the academy from his homeland Colombia. His intention is to give Colombians a chance to showcase their skills in European English football, based on the sheer amount of talent that has come from Colombia in recent years. Asprilla played in former Magpies goalkeeper Steve Harper's testimonial match on September 11, 2013 against AC Milan Glory. He had a header disallowed for offside before the Italians won 2-1 on penalties. Career statistics. References. External links. Media related to Faustino Asprilla at Wikimedia Commons, Faustino Asprilla at national-football-teams.com, International Statistics at RSSSF, Faustino Asprilla Career Stats at Soxabase, Whatever Happened to Faustino Asprilla, Interview with 442.